Hello from the Stogie Palace. This is your good buddy Chris, here today with a Rocky Patel Sun Grown Robusto. So let's give you a little bit of a better view of that thing. Ooh, there we go. Focus. Yeah, I guess it's focusing. Maybe. Anyway, this is a 5.5 by 50 Robusto, full strength on one website. Another one said maybe medium to full. And so without any further ado, let's light it up and we'll talk a little bit about it as we get going. Alright, it's putting off a fair amount of smoke. Not getting a whole lot of flavor quite yet. Let's see, what does it say? From RockyPatel.com. The wrapper is a 5-year-old Ecuador Sumatra. The binder is Nicaraguan. The filler is Nicaraguan and Honduras, or Honduran. I've aged it for 2 months. I got it for a whole $2. I believe it was in a sampler pack with a whole bunch of others. And I love the Rocky Patel Royale, the Prohibition, the Platinum, the Edge, and Vintage 1990 not so much. This one didn't score all that great with Brian over there at Cigar Obsession, which you should check him out. And my early concerns about the cigar is the wrapper. Doubt you can see it on the camera, but there was a little cracking going on. Now it is 33% relative humidity out here in the Palace, 65% as usual in the humidor. Cigars International, what they had to say about this one: another smash hit from Senor Patel, which is kind of funny since he's not Spanish, Hispanic, or anything like that, but we'll go with that. Sun Grown by Rocky Patel Cigars is one heck of a smoke. The rich blend of choice tobaccos, tobaccos. Is that really a word? Isn't tobacco the same word for singular and plural? Jonathan over at the Cigar Authority, pay attention. Your ads are kind of, well, in the same ad you'll say tobaccos and then tobacco, and I don't know. Tobaccos sounds kind of cool, but I don't really think it's a word. Maybe it is. Anyway, these tobaccos light up your palate with a combination of complex, rich flavors, while the 5-year-old Ecuadorian sun-grown wrapper delivers a spicy, sweet element that you'll savor until the very last puff. Aged perfection and masterfully blended, this smooth smoke starts with a bang and finishes with a long, full-bodied finish. A serious cigar for any true connoisseur. So it starts with a bang. I think it's starting off kind of mild. It's good though. I think it's pretty smooth. The wrapper, when I smelled it, and the cold draw is a little sweet, minty almost. Let's see. Great news. The Sun Grown has been named one of the top 50 cigars in the world, along with a solid 90 and 91 ratings. Good-looking cigar that performs well. It's earthy and spicy with a cedar base and a tangy finish. Yeah, maybe. Medium to full-bodied. On Cigar Obsession, he didn't give it that stellar of a review. And I wanted to talk about that. Not about him not giving a stellar review, but about reviews in general. As you notice in my reviews, I'm not the greatest at picking out flavors. Telling you, that tastes like, cedar or cocoa. I do pick that one up, or some of these other flavors that people with better palates can pick up, and I don't doubt them. But big thing about that for me, and probably for others, I know it's for others because I've heard other podcasters talk about it, is the power of suggestion. Tastes like, somebody will say, and yeah, it does taste like that. On the previously mentioned Cigar Authority, there's 3 or 4 of them that do it quite often, where one will say something and the others will, yeah, you're right. Maybe they didn't think about it, themselves. And on rare exception, it's pretty rare that they disagree. It does happen from time to time where they'll say, no, Not getting that at all. And the same thing with Cigar Time and some of the others that have more than one person on the panel, not just a single person doing a review. Power suggestion is a strong thing. For me, I don't like tainting my opinion, and it's not just about cigars, it's about a lot of things, which is what I'll spend most of this review about. Since I don't just do reviews, I also throw in a little bit of something extra, because my reviews, personally, in my opinion, are lacking as far as the specifics. I'll tell you, how good the burn is, which this one here is decent, not perfect, but I'm not going to knock it for that. It's probably going to catch up. Most of Rocky Patel's products burn well, draw well. This one draws perfect. Nice retro right there. Look at all this. It's a lot of smoke. But I don't look at reviews too much. Maybe before I buy them, but I'll hopefully just like wash that out of my memory. I'm looking mainly at ratings, how it rated against other cigars I like. But right before I smoke a cigar like this, I rarely go and read or watch a review, because I don't want it tainting my opinion or coloring my palate as far as what I taste. This one's not really a flavor bomb from what I can tell. If this were a Connecticut, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's not. It's an Ecuador Sumatra, is that what I said? Whatever it is. But good smoke bomb. But I don't want somebody else's, and it's not just opinion. I believe that what they're tasting. So it's not just their opinion of what it is, although it's really a subjective thing. Some people can't pick up the same ones maybe just because they don't have the ability to. Physically, it's just not possible. And the same thing like with radio. I don't listen to talk radio hardly at all except for comedy, stuff like that. When I was more into the political game, I didn't want somebody's political opinion coloring mine. I didn't want there even be a chance of me repeating something that somebody else has done or said. And I know that that's probably a minority opinion, that there's a lot of people out there that go exactly with copying somebody else to get popular. Same thing when I'm reading opinion writers, which I don't do that very often either on any particular subject. Usually politics, use that. That's a really good example, because even the straight news, sometimes they tinge it a little bit with opinion. But let's just say a straight opinion writer, somebody that there's no question about where they're coming from. I write opinion, I used to anyway, quite a bit. I mean, I was called a prolific writer from this reporter. And I tried my hardest to not mimic or copy anybody else. Not because I'm worried that any copyright kind of information, problems with that. That's not it. It's just I want to offer something different from where I sit. Hence these videos. These are some of just my thoughts. They could be millions of other people's thoughts too, but I don't know, because I don't go and check everybody else's blogs and podcasts and videos. Music is where probably the first place that I ran into this problem I have with, I'm a pretty rough music critic, because so much of what you hear in the last 10, 20 years for sure, and even before that, it's just copying what some has already been done. I think somebody wrote a song that it's all been done before, or something like that, and they're right. It's hard to be original in, like, let's say rock and roll, when the chords are, there's not a whole lot of possibilities, let's just say. Being original in that is tough. The lyrics is where you have to come through with your originality, and it's pretty common for me to listen to a song. I go, yeah, I hear about 3 or 4 different songs in here. I liked it, when I heard the Beatles or Rolling Stones do this 40 years ago. And I'm not talking about a direct copy of a song. I'm talking about something that's supposed to be original. I've written a few songs in my day, and I threw away about 80% of them because I thought that it sounded like something else. Now, other people, like let's say I would bring it to my wife's attention, and no, she didn't think so. And I'm sure most, if not all, the ones that I discarded, people would say that they didn't notice it sounded like something else. But I'm my own worst critic when it comes to music, when it comes to writing, when it comes to public speaking, any of that. I want to be different. I don't want to be the same as everything else. I don't want to copy anybody for sure. And I sure don't do it on purpose. If it ever happens, it's on accident. So that's a big deal for me. And it carries over to cigar reviews. That's kind of the good thing about cigars, though, is that what may be good to me may be a dog rocket to you. What may be just something not worth smoking may be your favorite cigar. I know that. I've run across that. A guy at work, he gave me a cigar that was probably about $1 cigar. He cut in threes because he's cheap. And it tasted like cigarette ash. It was awful. But he loves it. Now, maybe because in his price range, that's what he likes, that's what he wants. But even then, I mean, come on, $1 cigar cut into three. But his intentions are good. He's a good guy. Not knocking him. Everybody has their different flavor profile. Just want to mention that this cigar, I'm pairing it with something because when I read that or saw that video review of this, it didn't look all that promising. I go, well, I better try something with it, which I usually don't pair alcohol with cigars. But I'll give it a whirl. This is Mangria, which is made by Adam Carolla. It's, I guess, kind of like sangria, except for it's his version of it. 20% alcohol. It's like a refreshing wine, fortified wine. So I'll let this go down a little bit further. And not loaded with flavor, but it's smooth. It's not offensive. I've had better, So we'll see where it leads. So down the first third, maybe a little more. Burn, pretty good. Haven't had to do any touch-ups. Plenty of smoke. Good construction. And that's pretty much a standard with Rocky Patel cigars. All the ones I've liked so far had pretty much perfect construction. This one's no different. The ash is that nice whitish, grayish brindle, which is probably, that brindle's probably the case for most cigars. A little black, a little white. Smooth smoking cigar. I can't really say a whole lot more than that. Not a flavor bomb, not strong, not too peppery. The review and the description, you would think otherwise. Especially the starting with a bang and finish with a long, full-bodied finish. I'm not getting much of a finish at all. By finish, aftertaste between puffs, drags, whatever. I'm not getting hardly anything, which is, it's fine. It's not, I wouldn't put it in my top 10. It's not going to, there's no way it could score that good. But the thing is I mark so heavily on construction that it will score higher than it probably should. I'm not, the waft, the infamous waft. Not getting a ton of aroma off of this. Just your basic standard cigar. Why did I pick this one? Well, I have about 68 different varieties of cigars. Different brands, different sizes, different wrappers, different strengths, different prices. And I only had one of these. So I get rid of this. Well, I can get rid of that whole table, that whole line. As the lights turn off on me again, I get rid of that whole line from my spreadsheet on this cigar. And truthfully, I thought a Sun Grown was going to be a little more flavorful because I'm comparing it against a Perdomo Champagne Sun Grown, which scored near the top of cigars I've smoked so far. This one doesn't have that much flavor. But it's smooth. It's not harsh. It's not, I can't really say any negatives about it. You know, lack of complexity, sure, I guess that's a negative, but it's not foul. It's not bad. It's just not real loaded with flavor or complexity. Looks, you know, medium colored. It's not too light, not too dark. It's right in the middle in every shape of the meaning of that term. But the construction, though, got to give it that. Great draw, great amount of smoke output, no relights needed, perfect ash holding on. Getting a little nervous about that. Tons of smoke. You don't probably see it because I blow it up into the upper areas of the Stogie Palace, but there's a fog up there. So we'll go a little bit further, head towards there's 2 bands there, head down towards there and see if there's any changes. I'm not counting on it from what I read. Probably is not going to happen. I don't feel any strength. So it's enjoyable. I'm not saying it's not, so let's just see how it goes.
A lot of short releases, that exact one, I never even smoked it.
Sorry about that. That's usually what I'm doing out here when I'm smoking a cigar, is listening to a podcast of some kind. Right there's Cigar Authority. So anyway, working my way down, first band is off. I noticed a little bit of flavor increase. Now, that might be because the pairing with the Mangria, which is sweet. But I can see, and I was right, that since this wasn't going to be a flavor bomb, that help it out a little bit with something sweet to drink. And these two are pairing up good. They're enhancing each other. So, yeah, it gets marked down for the crack wrapper here at the top. And there was 1 or 2 little puffs of bitterness there, but not much. It's overall pretty smooth. Tons of smoke. I had to open up the door here to the backyard, so you probably hear a little more noise back there. That's some thick smoke right there. And when you accidentally breathe in that like that'll make you cough. Otherwise, cigars don't make me cough. So it's good. Not terrific. Not outstanding. Not Rocky Patel's best by any means. A little bit further along on this cigar, starting to canoe a little bit there. See that? That's, you call it canoeing. Although it's trying to catch up right there, as you can see. But it almost went out. Matter of fact, it seemed like it was putting off no smoke at all. So I was about to get out my multi-purpose tool here to scrape it out and relight it, but I just tried something. When you purge a cigar, which is when you blow through it, like that, and sometimes that'll relight it, and it did, but it won't now that the camera's actually on. Nothing. It's just coming out. I suck in, nothing. Zilch. So I will have to go ahead and get out my multi-tool here. And the way I do that, you can't see, it's off camera over here, unfortunately. And just scrape out that old ash. Tap it a little, make sure it all comes out. I'm sure somebody's gonna say this is wrong, but I'm not willing to throw this cigar out just yet. I'm not done with my cocktail. I'm not done kicking back and listening to my podcast stuff. So a little bit of smoke came out there, but yeah, it's still not doing anything for me there. It's not all that soft, surprisingly. So gotta relight. I have a feeling this one's going to end up pretty similar to how that rating was on Cigar International, 90-91. That's probably right on the mark. This thing's a little stubborn to get going again. There we go. Now, I was drinking some of that Mangria before I lit this. That may have tainted things, but on the cold draw and still now, I'm getting, as far as flavors, it does taste, it almost tastes like wine. Now, I know I'm drinking wine, and oh, that's because of that, but no, I was picking that up before. It had a sort of an alcohol kind of flavor to it. And I don't mean like rubbing alcohol. I mean kind of like whiskey or that kind of alcohol. Excuse me. There, now it's putting off a bunch of smoke again, so that's good. But I'm getting that on through my sinuses. I'm getting that through the smoke. I don't know what that would be described as. It actually reminds me, the smell and the taste I'm getting reminds me of single malt, which I'm not drinking that. I'm drinking just fortified wine. Fortified wine makes it sound like I'm drinking Ripple. I'm not. This is not cheap stuff, this Mangria. And it's not like I'm pounding it down. But that smell right there of that and this are not quite exactly the same. So I don't see anything really changing. It's pretty much, I'm going to be putting this out pretty soon. It's not getting warm or anything, but it's been going on for now a little over an hour and 10 minutes or so, which is plenty of time for a cigar. But for me, cigar smoking is just a way to relax, kick back. It's not like I come out here to do business or anything. Come out here and relax. And got my old camping chair here. I got my Avalanche jersey on. Sit back. I mostly think about the cigar, the flavors, the wine, or in this case, the Mangria, the effort, time, and everything that went into making the cigar, which I appreciate. $2. I can't imagine that the 200 or 300 hands that touch this are getting a whole lot of money. All the overhead, and of course the man, Rocky's, he's got to make a little money on it. But I did get a good deal on it. So that'll probably do it for now. I haven't finished rating it yet. I'm going to guess it's somewhere in the 90, 91 range, which is still better than average. There's no foul taste to it, no negative connotations in my mind about it, nothing like that. It's just not in the outstanding category. I would say average and good to, if you're just goofing around doing yard work or just not really paying attention a whole lot to the cigar and not savoring or anything like that, just having a good cigar, definitely fits the bill for that. Plenty of smoke. So, decent. Average. Slightly better than average, just because of its consistency, except for that little burn issue there. But, and it's not like I was doing a whole lot of talking, putting it down, not paying attention. That was sitting back, just smoking a cigar, and it just like, poof, went out. So, I'm feeling a little bit of the strength from it, and I don't think that's the Mangria, even though I've had 2 or 3 glasses of it. It's a different feeling. The nicotine feeling is different than alcohol feeling. The combination of the two is good, and I'm glad that I had that to go with this. It helped out the cigar. So thanks for watching. This has been Chris in the Stogie Palace. Make sure you hit that subscribe button somewhere over here. I'll put it right there. And if you want to see what else I'm up to, and there are reviews on there about the Mangria, about food, about cigars, about life in general, and stories that you may not hear other places just because it's my experience in life. So, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. See you later.